Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
What's good, everybody? It's your girl, Fran, and I am here for another episode of Fill Up with Fran. Thank you so much for joining us. I recognize that you could have been anywhere on the World Wide Web, but you decided to be here with me, and I thank you for that. I appreciate it. Before we jump in, I would like to remind everyone that I am here each and every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Facebook and Instagram, sharing with you just one concept, one small thing, one idea that can help take you from idea to launch. In 2020, we are not stopping until we get everything that we came here to get, and that includes seeing the manifestation of our wildest dreams. So again, thank you for joining me. I appreciate it, but we are going to jump right in to our topic for this week as we discuss the 3 reasons why visionaries master transitions. We're going to discuss the 3 reasons why visionaries work to master the art of making transitions, okay? So I want to start off by just giving you my thoughts about change and transition. This does not come out of any book necessarily, but this is just something that I picked up. This is the way my brain synthesizes it. This is the way my brain works. So these are my thoughts and insights. So I want to make clear as we get started and we're having the conversation about transition and why transition is important. I want to make a very clear distinction. I want to read it to you so that I can make sure that I'm giving it to you and I don't get caught up in my feelings, okay? So I want to define change and transition for us so that we're using the same language and we're on the same page. Change and transition have very, very clear differences. However, we've in our society made them synonymous with one another, and they are not. And so I would like to separate change and transition from one another and define change as something that addresses external factors like where you live, who you date, what your job is, the type of car that you drive. Change addresses those types of external things that can be seen with the eye. A transition, however, is more focused on what is happening internally in order for you to adopt the change when it occurs, okay? So transition is the internal work that needs to be done so that that change can have somewhere to live when it happens, all right? Often we buck change because we are afraid of the internal transition work that accompanies it. Were it not for transition, change would be impotent, okay? All right, so a lot of times we hear people say things like, change is hard. Okay, I want to push back right there because I don't believe that change is hard. I believe change is the thing that we want to see, all right? Change isn't hard. Transition is work, and that's the part that makes change difficult, okay? That can be the part that makes change difficult. Your willingness to surrender to the process of transitioning into the life, into the future that you want to have will determine whether or not you have an easy way at making a change or a hard way at making a change. So many times when we're complaining about change being hard, what we're really saying is I am not sure that I am ready to do the internal transition work necessary to hold this change in my life in a sustainable way, okay? And so I'll give you an example, all right? Many times I have discussed my desire to take on a vegan lifestyle or a plant-based lifestyle, a lifestyle where I am eating food that serves my body, that gives my body the energy and the things that it needs in order to live the life that I want to have, right? And so what I'll do every now and again, I just did it last week, I'll go to the grocery store and go ham. I'll buy a whole bunch of stuff. I'll get a whole bunch of food, look up a whole bunch of recipes because I am ready for what? I'm ready for a change. Okay, I'm ready for a change. Then what happens at about 2 weeks in? About 2 weeks in, I'm ready to start ordering off of Uber Eats, and I'm starting to, think about, well, maybe if I fry the chicken in the air fryer, you see what I'm saying, it won't be so bad, right? Well, the reason why that change did not stick is because I had not done any transition work. I had not done the work internally. I had not changed the mindsets and the ideas and the beliefs about food. It had not become abundantly clear on the inside of me why this change was necessary. Instead, what I've done and what I continue to do, not just in this case, but in other cases, and I'm sure many of you can relate, what I did was skip to the external factors. Well, if I change all of these things around, then maybe the transition will be easier. And that's not how it works. Okay? That's not how it works. You cannot simply change an external environment and hope that your internal environment will capitulate. That is a risky bet. Okay? If you want a surefire way to make sure that you are getting to the thing that you would like to see, you have to be willing to do the internal transition work. Okay, I want to also say that transition is what is happening between the this right now and the that I want in the future. If you're looking at your life right now and you're saying, well, I'm not really feeling this right now, and I'm not quite at that yet, then more than likely you need to be doing some type of internal transitioning work that can allow you to stay there. Has anybody ever been watching like a celebrity, or maybe you've been this person, or maybe you know someone in your personal life where they get the chance of a lifetime and then they fumble the bag. They fumble it. They mess it up. Okay? Because a lot of times our character, our charisma, luck, if you will, right place, right time, can sometimes get us to a place that our internal person, our internal being cannot keep us. Okay? And so I wanna make sure that we're aware that just because your external environment changes, it does not mean that you've done the work to be able to sustain that in your life. Okay, so without the transition work, that change could be temporary. All right, does that make sense? Oh, sorry, am I too loud? I was thinking Tory Lanez, Amber. He definitely, he fumbled the bag. All right, it's also important that we recognize and remember and learn that we must surrender during transition. Okay, when we are in a transitional place in our lives, we have to be willing to surrender to it. Okay? We don't get anywhere in this process of becoming the person who can make our wildest dreams come true by struggling against the transition work. All right? All right. So that's that on that. I want to say that many times when people are presented with a compelling vision, most people can connect with it. Right? They're ready to buy into it. Nobody says like, oh, that vision just doesn't strike me. I can't get excited about it. You paint a clear enough picture for someone and they're able to identify why it's important to them and what the world could look like with it, then vision people buy into. It is the process of transitioning toward that vision. Where you could lose people, where you could test people's willingness or their level of buy-in. All of those things tend to come up when you have not really done the work of explaining to people that there is going to be a valley of disappointment at some point. Okay? And the only reason why that valley of disappointment exists is because we have not fully learned how to surrender to the process of transitioning. Okay? So change is not hard. I want us to work on that. Change is not hard. Transition work is work, though. Change is only hard when you refuse to make the transition. Okay? Me changing my diet to a plant-based diet, I can say that it's hard. But that's not what's hard. What's hard, it's hard because I have not done the work of transitioning who I am. Oh, loud like calling me in. Got it, Shamari. Thank you. Okay? We have to transition to become that person. And as much as we think we would like it to be able to hit a button and say, I want to become the person who's capable of doing this. If you were able to do that, the change would be impotent because you're not the person who can hold that change in your life. Okay? You're not the person who can hold that change in your life. All right. All right. So here are the 3 reasons. I want to jump into these really quick. Here are the 3 reasons why visionaries master the process of transitions. Hey, Keisha. Hey, Keisha. Hey, both of my Keishas are here. Thanks for jumping in, you all. All right, so 3 reasons why visionaries master the process of transitions. Okay, number 1, visionaries master the transition so that they can remain as open as possible to all of the possible ways in which the universe will decide to deliver their desired change. Okay? They want to remain as open as possible to receive in any way the universe has for them the change that they're asking for. Okay? All right. Now, a lot of times when we talk about this idea of manifesting or creating the life that we want for one another, what do we hear? We kind of hear this like this very simplified name it, claim it kind of ideology, right? If I just say it and I focus on it really, really hard, then I'm going to get it. Okay, let me clarify this for you. Let me clarify this for you, beloved. Let me set some realistic expectations for you. What's going to happen is you're going to make a request of the universe, all right? Whether verbally or within your spirit and whatnot. And what is going to come back to you is a mirror of a picture of who you need to become in order to make that happen. So now you're in the between. You no longer want this, your current state, but you've not yet arrived at that. Okay? So now I'm stuck in the middle between this and that. And in order to really master transitions, the reason why visionary master these transitions is so that they can be as open as they can to all of the ways that the universe wants to get us to that. But if we come into it without doing the internal work of changing our mindsets and expectations and opening ourselves up, then what we'll do is have blinders on and only see one path forward. Visionaries want to remain as agile as possible. Let me tell you what agility is. Agility means the ability to move quickly and easily. That is to be baggage free. When a person is willing to make the transition for the change that they want, they rid themselves of baggage. Okay? A lot of us walking around like the lyrics of the song Bag Lady from Erykah Badu. You're going to hurt your back carrying all them bags like that. All right? Put some of that down. Visionaries master the art of transition so that they can free themselves from the baggage of expecting things to show up in the way that they see them in their mind and that way only. Okay. I grew up in the Christian tradition. You all know that. And I remember one of the scriptures that said, for God will do exceedingly abundantly above all that you can ask or think. Right. And so I remember thinking to myself in my very, young mind, not that young, probably about 5-6 years ago. Okay. I was thinking, man, I got to stop thinking like every time I think something, then God be like, oh, nope, can't do that. Got to change my mind. I got to go up higher because she thought about that. I know that's me just trying to be a little funny or whatever, but it is in that same way. Okay. Okay. That you want for the world to be so open to you that you are willing to do whatever the transition work is. You call for the transition work so that you can become the person who's capable of holding it in your life. Have you ever made like a bowl of ice cream and you really wanted that ice cream or a lollipop or something, I don't know. You really wanted it bad. You wanted it so bad that you could taste it, and when you finally got it in your hand, it fell and it hit the ground. And now you're looking at the thing that you really wanted and it's on the ground. That is what you're in danger of when you skip ahead to results or what looks like results without doing the transition work. Visionaries master the work of transitions so that they can be as open as possible to all of the ways in which the universe will prove itself to us. Okay? We have to be willing to be agile. We have to be willing to say yes immediately and to dig into the work. Number 2, visionaries master the art of transition so that they can model the way forward. Okay? Visionaries want to model the way forward. Okay? So In doing this and modeling the way forward, a visionary also builds empathy for themselves. People empathize with a visionary who is going through a transition. Why? Okay? Why? Transitions make you human. Okay? Transitions make you human. And as long as you can master a transition while not feeling shame because you're going through a very natural process, then you will cause people to become a spouse to you, to become a spouse to your vision, to become a spouse to the mission, to become a spouse to the work. Okay? And so visionaries make it a point to master the transition so that they can call in the people that they need to help them bring it to pass. Okay? No one is seeking out the visionary who's saying, I don't know what to do and I'm stuck and I'm over here at this and I want to get to that. Can you get with this? Can you get with that? No, we're not interested. People are interested in a human visionary who they can feel empathy for but trust. Okay? Visionaries don't linger in the transition. They get through the transition. Because honestly, what people love about you is not necessarily what you have accomplished, but instead the way in which you did it. Okay? The way in which you did it. So visionaries model the way forward while building empathy for themselves. Okay? Because people don't really buy into the success. They buy into the system that you've created for yourself in having the success. So having that humility enough to say, I am going through a transition phase, but the vision has not changed. Okay? The vision has not changed while I'm going through this transition phase will cause people to come to you to do the work with you, to work beside you. And then lastly, because y'all, it's hot in this garage. Okay? Woo, it's hot. Lastly, visionaries master transitions because they see it as the cost of being the boss. True visionaries don't want to make it to the top and not have a story about the cost that they paid to get there. Because it is in those stories about how we got here that they can build excitement for the next thing. A visionary doesn't just rest on their laurels when they make it to the that. What they do then is create a new that. Okay? And the thing that was the future that they wanted is now their present. And now they're looking on to the next thing. And so when a visionary masters transitions, they're able to talk about that story. They're able to tell their testimony or the things that they went through in a compelling way that once again causes people to find out when's the next thing and how can I get on board. We saw this with President Obama, okay? During his historic campaigns in 2008 and 2012. Woo, math, Lord Jesus. All right, we saw this with him. He was able to tell us about the transition work that he was doing as he moved from law student to community organizer to junior senator to president of the United States. Okay, and because there seemed like there are a whole lot of steps that President Obama could have took between junior senator and president of the United States, but because he had a good enough story to explain the ways that he has transitioned throughout his life, people voted for him. People bought in because he understood that that was just the cost of being the boss. He wasn't just trying to get to a change without doing the work internally of becoming the president. Before we voted him president, he had done the work of becoming president, and we agreed with him. Now, don't nobody hop in these comments asking me about that other one. I don't know nothing about it in Jesus' name. All right, so now that's my answer. All right, and so it's important that you understand, or that we all understand, that it is not always about talent. It is not always about charisma. All right, that it is really about the person who is willing to become the one who can make their wildest dreams come true. This is a small price to pay. We have to see it as a small price to pay. Because without the story of how you transitioned, that change is impotent. That change really it doesn't carry the same weight. Okay, and I'll just say it like this. I'll wrap it up and say it like this. I have a lot of friends who pledged, who are a part of, AKAs and Deltas and all of the other ones. No offense to anybody who's affiliated with an organization I did not name, but you know what I'm saying. And they would talk about the difference between someone who went paper and someone who went process. Someone who went paper is someone apparently who signs up, pays their membership fee, and now they're a member of, the name of the organization. Whereas someone who is processed understands at a deeper level the importance of this relationship because they've gone through things together. They made a pledge together. They pledged together. This is the same way that we should think about our lives. Let's not go for the paper and say that we've accomplished something while leaving the process. If you want your membership in the club of people who've made their wildest dreams come true to really be legitimate, you have to be willing to lean into and surrender to times of transition. And a time of transition is any time you are standing in between this that I currently have and I'm no longer satisfied with, or not even satisfied, this thing that I have and that I want more of, okay? And that thing that is in the future that I have not yet attained in reality yet. When anytime you're standing in between there, you should be asking yourself, what is the internal transition work that I can be doing to support myself in the future when I get there? Okay? That's all I have this week. If you have any questions or comments, please make sure you drop those. I'm gonna spend a few minutes reading through the comments because y'all were busy in here tonight. Let's see what we have here. Can you do one of these with Kanye next? I think he might need one of these sessions. All I can do, pray his strength in the Lord. That's all I got on that. Name it, claim it, and do the work that it takes to get there. Absolutely. I would like to no longer be broke and transition into being rich. Real talk, though. That's a real thing. Absolutely. There is transition work that comes along with creating wealth. Okay? And we see it all. Here's the perfect example of that, right? Like people who hit the lottery and then you find out that they're broke in another year. Why? Because they had a change without going through any transition. And so that the person who they were when they got the $1 million was not capable of sustaining that type of wealth in their life. Okay? And so that's why transition is important. Transition is important. If we want to fly, we've got to give up the shit that weighs you down. That's it. That's it. Thank you, Shamar. We've got to give it up. We've got to give up the things that weigh us down. No more baggage. We're releasing the baggage as quickly as we can so that we can make these transitions with agility so that we can get there. Anybody just ready to get there already? Are we there yet? Like, that's kind of where I am in my life. All right. And I appreciate each of you joining me each week as I work out my own transitions, as I transition into the person who is making my wildest dreams come true, the person who is creating films and documentaries and TV shows and speaking on panels and talking around the world and having a cooking show, all of the things, writing books, all of the things. I appreciate each of you for being a part of my journey as I do the transition work to become that person. So I thank you. I don't take your support for granted. If there are no questions and no comments, I just want to remind you, if no one has told you this week, this lifetime, this week, this month, or this lifetime, I would like to be the first to remind you that you are whole, that you are perfect, and that you are complete. And everything that you need to make your wildest dreams come true is already on the inside of you. And I cannot wait to see you manifest it and bring it forward. As long as you are willing to do the work to transition to becoming the person who can make your wildest dreams come true, there's truly nothing that you cannot achieve. I will be here next Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Fran_me_world. You can check me out on Facebook at Fran Me World. You can also go to my profile, click the link in in the bio. Click the link that says 12-minute leap, and let's set up a 12-minute coaching conversation so that we can figure out how to get you up and going around your wildest dreams. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share this post with other people, and don't forget to invite a friend. Tell a friend to bring a friend, because we are truly building a community of dreamers. Until the next time, y'all be safe, be healthy, be blessed, and most important, be the person who can make your wildest dreams come true. I'll check y'all later. Peace.